When your press car is a BMW 340i with a 6-speed manual, you do your stand-up inside the car. So we've had this vehicle for about a week, logged in about 350 miles, most of that on twisties and turns. A lot of fun. A lot of power too. Very well balanced power. Now this is the X-Drive, which means all-wheel drive. We weren't too excited about it, but because it's rear-wheel drive biased, it actually behaves quite nicely. The rear-wheel drive would have been more appropriate for these Southern California roads, but we got the X-Drive, which is probably going to be the bigger seller because a lot of people in the Northeast buy these BMW 3 Series. The 3 Series has been around for over 40 years, and in 1975 it launched a whole new segment, this sports sedan segment, and it's never looked back. In fact, I've attended every one of its competitors' events, whether it's the Audi A4, Mercedes-Benz C-Class, even the Jaguar XE, over here the ATS from Cadillac, as well as the IS from Lexus. And I can tell you that every one of those manufacturers benchmarks their vehicle against the 3 Series. They tell us theirs is lighter, it's faster, it's more powerful, it's this and it's that. But at the end of the day, this is still the best-selling vehicle in that segment. It owns the segment, and why not? It makes a lot of sense, it looks great, it acts great. I really think that the people building the 3 Series are true enthusiasts, whereas the other manufacturers, they're just manufacturers. This is truly a purist sedan in the sense that it's an entry-level luxury sedan on one hand, but it's also an amazing performance vehicle with 320 horsepower and 330 pound-feet of torque. It's a rocket ship. It rivals the performance numbers of an M3 not that long ago. I mean, how much faster do you need to go? We're going 100, even though the speed limit's 60. And we got there in a very short amount of time. This is essentially a mid-cycle refresh for BMW, which is why they changed the name from 335 to a 340i. They added some horsepower, but it's the same base engine, a 3-liter inline twin-turbo 6, and it's a lot of fun. And a friend of mine actually has a 335i with the 8-speed automatic, drove this car and said, wow, it feels like a completely different car. And it does. It's just a lot of fun. This one's pretty loaded up, close to 60 grand, but I think at around 50 grand you can get yourself a pretty nice one. If you don't need the all-wheel drive, don't get it. You'll save about $2,000. So this is the M Sport Edition, has the contrast stitching, the sport seats, some nice effects on the outside. You got the kind of smoked wheels, basically design cues to distinguish it from a standard or a more luxury level 3 Series. Of course, you have your driving modes from Eco to Normal, Sport, Sport Plus. We're in Sport Plus right now. And it doesn't beat you up like a WRX might, but it does really stay on the road quite nicely. At the end of the day, I like what BMW has done. They've mildly upgraded the interior, added some design cues to the exterior, the typical things, the headlights and taillights and whatnot, but the car is basically the same. And there's really no need to mess with it. It's selling great. It handles great. I mean, this is a car you could really take on the track. You're not going to beat a lot of Porsches, but it really has that great power to weight ratio. It's just very well balanced. I know some enthusiasts complain about the steering, but I think those complaints are going to fall on deaf ears. The future is electronic power steering. That's where BMW is at, and that's where just about every car company is at. Generally very simple, easy to read, analog gauges. This vehicle is equipped with a head-up display, which is nice. It shows me the speed limit. It shows me my current speed, which is over the speed limit. But it is very helpful to keep your eyes up on the road. You've got a nice navigation, infotainment screen. All the controls are very basic. This vehicle has not benefited yet from some of the advanced technologies of the 7 Series, but I certainly could see that the next generation, where they do a full new model of the 3 Series, will definitely benefit from some of those technologies, such as the hand gesturing that you see now in the 7 Series. Another complaint I heard about with this vehicle from enthusiasts is they don't like that, which is the downshift rev matching. Well, I'm sorry, but that's really where everything's headed. Car companies are very proud of that technology, and I don't see it going away. The fact that you can hit 110 in third gear before red line is pretty impressive, and you get there pretty quickly. So on one hand, you have the stigma of driving a BMW, but on the other hand, if you are a true enthusiast and you understand what this vehicle is about, if you've had the pleasure of actually taking it on the track like I have, then you also understand what it's capable of. And it is capable of doing some amazing things. The other cars are too in the segment, but at the end of the day, this is the one. This truly is the vehicle that not only has the pedigree, but also has kept up with the demands and with the competition. There are other vehicles in the segment with a little more horsepower, a little more torque, a little this, a little that, but from a pure enthusiast standpoint, this is the one for me.